What's up, everybody? I am Tashima Chanel, and welcome to Pretty Outspoken, where we talk about the things that need to be talked about. We say the things that need to be said. We have the conversations that need to be had. It's where we say the quiet parts out loud.
You were thinking it, well, you said it.
Today's episode, we're talking about emotional intelligence, or the lack thereof. There's this woman who is on a podcast with two men, and she's saying that women are less emotionally intelligent, and they cannot handle an emotionally intelligent man because women can't accept criticism. And when a man can criticize you, he is emotionally intelligent because he can tell you about yourself. And women do not receive that, so that means they are emotionally unintelligent because they can't receive an emotionally intelligent man telling them about themselves. She used criticism. The word she used was criticism, okay? And let's talk about that. Emotional intelligence means that you are able to convey or speak about how you feel or in emotion, anger, sadness, those type of emotions. Those are emotions, okay? You are able to understand and communicate what bothers you. That's what my definition of emotional intelligence. Let's see what the actual definition of emotional intelligence is. Okay, let's see what this says. Emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive, use, understand, and manage and handle emotions. Okay, so that means that you are able to recognize them, that you are able to manage your own emotions, you are able to perceive and understand someone else's emotions. That's what emotional intelligence is. It has nothing to do with criticism. Yet, men and women think that because you can criticize someone, you could see something that you don't like, and instead of saying, hey, I don't like this, let's have a conversation about what I noticed that I don't like. Nowhere in the definition did it say criticism. Emotional intelligence has nothing to do with criticism. Emotional intelligence is being able to say, I don't like the way your actions made me feel. I don't like the behavior you're displaying. It makes me feel, and then you say what it makes you feel like. That's emotional intelligence. People are misconstruing and misunderstanding what emotional intelligence is, and then they're putting these out in the atmosphere and having people agree with them and yes men them, and it's incorrect. Then you wonder why things not working out how you think or expect them to work out, but it's because you are misinformed. Emotional intelligence has nothing to do with criticism, constructive or otherwise. If you have to put constructive in front of criticism, that means that criticism by itself is not meant to be constructive. That means that criticism by itself is a negative thing. That's first and foremost. It's not meant to build you up, it's meant to break you down. If a man is criticizing you about what you can or can't do, or what you should and should not be doing, that is not emotional intelligence. That's criticism. That is the art of breaking someone down. Let's get the definition of criticism up in here. Is the expression of disapproval of someone or something based on their own perceptions of what it should be like.
Based on their own perception.
The definition of criticism. Okay, when you add constructive into it, it's supposed to help you. But first and foremost, criticism is a disapproval of what you're doing. So there's an emotionally intelligent man is not going to criticize you. He is going to tell you how your actions make him feel. That is going to start a conversation about what can improve, what can be better, but it's not going to be criticizing. It's not going to be critical. It's not going to break you down. It is not going to be negative. He's not going to be insensitive to your feelings. because he is emotionally intelligent and he can tell you how he feels about something. A man can be emotionally intelligent and still be insensitive, but we're talking about criticism here. Criticism doesn't mean you get to tell me whatever you want. That's free speech. Let's get these definitions right. Let's get them accurate. Let's get them together. Because if not, we are telling everybody wrong information. We are misinforming the masses. And that's not okay. These podcast equipments and the need to be right is crazy. The need to sound intelligent when you're off is crazy. Y'all are misinforming the masses. And then y'all wondering why no relationship is working out. You don't got no examples of what love look like or what it should look like or what relationships require. You don't have no concept of that because y'all being misinformed. Somebody saying to you an emotionally intelligent man is a man who criticizes a woman that he's supposed to be in love with, that he in a relationship with at the very least. Because, some men and women are not in relationships because they love the other person. Okay? So, because her definition of criticism is women can't receive criticism. And they're not ready for an emotionally intelligent man. An emotionally intelligent man tells you and understands his feelings and your feelings. I'm trying to say, this is messing me up. An emotionally intelligent man is able to perceive your feelings, manage his own feelings, understand where you're coming from, but still able to verbalize what his issues are with you without being critical, disrespectful, or condescending. Okay? Y'all don't understand that because y'all think an emotionally intelligent man should be able to criticize you and still reap the benefits of that criticism if you correct yourself. Let me tell you something. A man will lose a woman every single time being overly critical, being disrespectful. I don't care how nice you put it in a sentence. If you are critical and disrespectful to the woman that you want to do stuff for you, she's not going to do it. You're going to lose her every time. Because you being able to say, oh, I am a high value man, all these women are falling over themselves to deal with me, you should be happy you in a relationship with me. It's not the same thing as I would like for you to do X, Y, and Z more often because I enjoy it. It makes me feel good. I want us to feel good when we together, and this is what will make me feel good if you did this. That sounds a whole lot different than there's so many women that want to be with me because of who I am, because of the job title that I hold or the organizations that I'm involved in, because I got a couple of hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank account. That's not being emotionally intelligent. That's being arrogant. That's being asshole-ish. All right? The narrative of women not being able to receive criticism is probably accurate. Let me tell you that. It's probably accurate. Because why are you criticizing the person you want to be with? That's disapproval. You can say, and you don't have to be constructive with it. You can say what you want. The right one, I say this too often. A lot of men don't understand the power of their words. Okay? And the reason why they don't understand the power of their words is because they have so many pick-me's in their corner that they could say something crazy and that don't matter to them. The delivery don't make a difference because they got somebody that's willing to do it. just because of how cute they are, just because of, honestly, it's just because of how cute they are, because of what they do in the bedroom. It don't really have anything to do with their emotional intelligence. It's because what they used to. So if you're used to all these women fawning over you and you get with a woman that's not acting like that, and you don't understand why she's not acting like that, it's mostly because it don't have nothing to do with your emotional intelligence. It's mostly because of how you talk to her and how you treat her. Women, and then if you don't like something about the woman that you with, what's the problem with telling her, babe, I don't like that? Why is it not a safe space for you to say that to her and she receive it? We keep looking at women as the problem instead of, and I'm not saying that women are not the problem. I'm just saying they're not the only problem. Because if a man can say that he wants the relationship to be a certain type of way, and they talk about it, and then the relationship doesn't go as planned. If she can say to him, hey, I don't like when you stay out all night, that's not a criticism. That's a fact. I don't like it. That's her expressing her feelings. A criticism would be more of, hoes stay out all night. You a hoe? Because you moving like a hoe. That's a criticism. Because the perception is hoes stay out at night. Hoes don't come home. That's the perception. So if I'm perceiving your behavior as hoe behavior, and then I'm telling you the way I'm saying it to you of something I don't like is based off a perception that I have. That is criticism. Because I'm associating your behavior with a preconceived notion that I have. That's criticism. Constructive criticism would be something like, husbands come home to their wives. They don't stay out all night. Wives come home to their husbands. They don't stay out all night. Okay? That's constructive because you put in, oh, this is what I believe husbands and wives should do. Emotional intelligence is receiving the information and managing your anger that you have when they tell you that, and being able to say in a respectable way, I heard what you said, I receive it, I'm going to process that because I don't agree. All of this other stuff is asinine behavior to me. Because you can say to somebody what you don't like without being belittling, disrespectful, argumentative. Because I get that a lot. I'm argumentative a lot, but you want to know what it is that you can't persuade me to believe what you're saying is true when I know that it's not true. So you think it's argumentative because I'm not agreeing with you. We could agree to disagree. But my stance is what it is. I'm going to stand on business every time. And I think the problem with men is that they just want people to shut up and be quiet. And they want to use emotional intelligence or the lack thereof in a woman. What they believe is emotional intelligence in a woman is being able to take unnecessary criticism when that's not what emotional intelligence is. Belittling somebody because you don't agree with them is not being emotionally intelligent. being able to have a conversation about your emotions without getting irate or disrespectful is what emotional intelligence looks like. Just because you cool, calm, and collected and don't have an attitude don't mean you're emotionally intelligent. You could be avoided. I just feel as though there are so many people who believe that they know what they're talking about and really don't. Because it's based off of your experiences, not off of actual facts. But it's probably emotion. All right? And there's a range of emotions that you could feel. But being able to have a conversation about your emotions, what you like or don't like is not emotional intelligence. It's being able to manage your emotions, that anger, instead of picking up something and throwing it or wanting to hit somebody. That's an emotional, you emotionally intelligent if you have the anger and you feel the anger and you're not angry and you don't portray that anger in a negative way. We're going to feel these emotions. Sadness. If you're sad and you want to sit in a room all day and not do nothing, that's not managing your emotion. You're emotionally unintelligent if you cannot manage your sadness. You could feel it, but there has to be a way to manage it. If you can't perceive your partner as being upset and you keep provoking them until they flip out on you, you're not emotionally intelligent. Because emotional intelligence requires a level of understanding of someone else's emotions as well as your own. So a lot of people don't really know and understand what emotional intelligence is. And so they think that they are exuding emotional intelligence when they're really just being arrogant and narcissistic. Avoidance. But the expectation is you can't act a certain type of way. You can't flip out. You can't express your opinion. You can't let them persuade you to do something you don't want to do or be in a situation you don't want to be in. Those are signs of emotional intelligence. If you are able to see what it is and remove yourself, you might be emotionally intelligent. But you can't say the other person isn't emotionally intelligent if you are provoking them to get some type of reaction out of them. Who's emotionally intelligent there? You can't use manipulation and criticism and all these negative words. You can't use negativity to produce. You cannot use negativity to produce an emotional, intelligent response or reaction. You can't do it. So when people choose to ignore certain situations, yes, it can be avoided. It can be avoided. But it can also be that they have the emotional intelligence to remove themselves from something that is intended to cause them harm. When you're dealing with an emotionally intelligent person, they are able to, again, express their emotions in a healthy way, manage their emotions in a healthy way, understand and perceive your emotions in an accurate way. Everything else is negativity. That's what that is. And people need to stop equating criticism and a person's reaction to criticism, because a person's normal reaction to criticism is defensiveness. So if someone is defending themselves against an accusation of your disapproval based off of a perception that you have, that's not making you an emotionally intelligent person. That makes you look like an asshole. And the rhetoric behind all of this is that women can't receive criticism. Why are you criticizing somebody you want to be with? I feel as though if men and women move in love instead of in this is what I don't like or this is what I don't know what term that is. But instead of moving in the opposite of love, I don't want to say evil, maybe indifference. When you move in, we should always try to do things with love. So if you approach somebody with a loving way, in a loving way versus in a criticizing way, you might get the outcome that you expect. But you cannot expect for somebody to receive criticism in a positive way. Just because you throw constructive in there